The subconscious mind, you could say, is like a hard drive. It's a memory bank. It's a memory card. It stores every experience we've ever had in our life, whether we're conscious of it or not conscious of it. It's stored in our subconscious. Patterns are created there, habit patterns. The superconscious is your deeply creative, spiritual, intuitive area of the mind. That's where intuition comes from.
Today's interview is with Dandapani, a man who has dedicated his life to the monastery for over 10 years, and he now uses those lessons to help entrepreneurs and athletes become more successful and define a focus and a goal. Just talking at three areas of the mind, subconscious, conscious and superconscious. How would you describe those three parts of the mind? And also, when we're talking about using words and terminologies, like I'm guessing you feel that it has a big impact if we just do it, like you say,
haphazardly.
Haphazardly, yeah, perfect, yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, like, so in the case of the meditation, what have you heard people say? Oh, when I walk, that's my meditation.
Yeah, I've heard people use loads of different things as say it's their meditation, yeah.
So what the hell is meditation then? If you use the one word to describe 1,000 different things, what is it? Right? If you actually go and look up, the Oxford or Webster's definition of the word, right? Just go search the word, and it defines to you what a word is. A word is meant to describe one thing or an action, right? So to the three states of mind, you have the conscious mind, the subconscious, and the superconscious. The conscious mind is the external mind. It's tied to the world around us. It's tied to our five senses. When we talk, when we drive, when we interact with the outside world, we're functioning. Awareness, that ball of light, is functioning in the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, you could say, is like a hard drive. It's a memory bank. It's a memory card. It stores every experience we've ever had in our life, whether we're conscious of it or not conscious of it. It's stored in our subconscious. Patterns are created there, habit patterns. The superconscious is your deeply creative, spiritual, intuitive area of the mind. That's where intuition comes from. And again, one thing I should say is that every teacher, every speaker, educator may use words differently, right? So if you're studying with one person, it's important to get them to define the words to you. So I define focus one way, awareness one way, the mind one way. But if you're studying philosophy with another person, they might define it differently. Not saying one is right, one is wrong, but it's just important to understand how that person is using the words so that you can put all the pieces together. So understanding the three states of mind is critical, because at any given point in time, you can understand which area of the mind you're functioning in. Not one is better than the other. They just have different attributes. So if you're in your conscious mind, you're very externalized. If you're in your subconscious, you're thinking about your past. Do you remember the time 5 years ago when we went on that holiday to Mallorca? How great was that? You're functioning in the subconscious area of the mind. You're going to your memory bank. If you're doing something highly creative, creating music or art, or you have an intuitive flash insight into something, it's coming from the superconscious area of the mind.
Is there a reach to get to the superconscious? Should we be striving to get to that, or does it not really matter? It's just the definitions.
Depending, again, what do you want in life, right? And that's why for me, it's always important to define first the goal. What do you want in life, right? Once you know what you want in life, then you know what tools you want, which area of the mind you need to function in order to get there. People always say things like, oh, it's not the destination, it's all about the journey. You've heard that statement before. I'm like, what the hell? People who say that are people who don't know where the hell they're going. That's why they say who cares about the destination?
Yeah.
Somehow when it comes to everyday life, people are logical and reasonable. But when it comes to spirituality, all logic and reason are thrown out the door. There's nothing more important in life than knowing who you are, the path that you're on, and its final end. Right? Who are you? What path are you on? And where are you going? So why is it when it comes to life and spirituality, all of a sudden you think you don't need to be specific, you don't need a goal, it's so bizarre, when it comes to everyday life, people are very understand the need to be clear and specific about their goal. But then when it comes to spirituality, it's just like, just be present, be mindful. That's good enough.
So when you have entrepreneurs come in and athletes come in, how much of the issue is that they don't have the end goal in sight, and how much is it down to the focus and clearing out the things they don't need to achieve those goals?
The people that I work with are extremely successful. Every one of them are extremely clear what their goal is and what it is they want. What they are looking from me is having a better understanding of the mind, so that they can leverage it to get to where they are. So they've been trained in the particular sport that they are in, the particular business that they're running. They know it inside out. But what they haven't been trained in is in the mind, because nowhere in their journey to where they are today has anyone sat them down and taught them the inner workings of the mind. How does the mind work? How do you learn to harness it? How do you learn to control it? How do you learn to focus it? Understanding the different states of mind. How do they impact your day-to-day decision making and things like that? So that's what they want to learn from me. And I always say to people, we have the most powerful tool in the world sitting in our heads, yet we have no manual for it. No one teaches us how to use it. You have cameras, right?
Yep.
Lighting, microphone, and then you have people that edit the video, probably in Final Cut Pro. So they need to learn the software. The better they understand Final Cut, the more they can do with it. Mm-hmm. The less they understand it, the less they can do with it. You could still edit the thing on iMovie. The end product's not going to be that great as using Final Cut or maybe Premiere, right? So the better you understand something, the more you can leverage it and do something with it. So the same way with the mind, we don't understand the mind. So how then do we leverage the mind to create what we want to create? So these athletes and entrepreneurs now starting to begin to realize that, oh my gosh, I have this amazing tool in my head, which I've used to be successful at what I do. But imagine if I understood it better, I could leverage it more and be even more successful at what I do.
So, I mean, the awareness of that is so simple, like the idea that we've got this powerful tool. I'm guessing having the awareness is one of the first steps. And it sounds so silly. We all know we've got a brain, but the idea that they are so capable. But what's the first thing that you find yourself teaching people, and the process you take people down when it comes to training the mind and learning the mind?
It's about understanding how the mind works. So even before learning to focus, we need to understand the mechanics of the mind, because if we don't understand the mechanics of the mind, it's going to be very hard to focus it. Similar like a camera, right? If you have a DSLR camera and you don't understand how to control aperture or shutter speed or ISO and all these things, you still take a photo, it may not be in focus. But before you can even focus the camera, it's good to understand some of these basic settings in order to create a photo that you want to create. So understanding the mind is the first step, then learning to focus. And like you said, with the mind, no one teaches us having that consciousness that, oh, we have this amazing tool that we haven't learned to use. But the same thing goes with focus, right? I mean, when we're growing up, people tell us, Jordan, can you just focus on eating your food? And Jordan, can you concentrate on doing your homework? But no one teaches us how to do it. They tell us to do it, but they don't teach us how to do it. I hear parents saying to kids all the time, can you just focus for a second? I'm like, awesome. Want to show me how to do it? But there's just so many things, just general life things that we are never taught. We have a body. All of us have a body. And some of us are blessed with a fully capable body. And yet we never get taught how it works or how to look after it, how to feed it and how to care for it. It's fascinating, isn't it? You go through years of school learning God knows what, and you think the basic things they would teach you is about the mind, the body. It'd be nice if someone taught me in school what to eat, how to exercise my body, how to make it strong, understand my mind, how to focus it, how to deal with problems I have.
We live in a society where people want that answer. How can I be rich? How can I be successful? Give me the one message. And the message is put a lot of time into it. And It's not a quick thing. It's just not an easy thing.
And a lot of people sell that, right? You see these ads sometimes pop up on YouTube where there's these guys, you know, standing in front of these big mansions and fancy cars. I'll show you how to be rich. You know, they show you this pile of books. I've read all these books. You know, I've taken the key pieces from these books. You know, I'll share them with you. Like, really? You think that's enough?
Yeah, it's most definitely not. Yeah.
And where do we start? You know, for people who are listening, we start by figuring out what the hell we want. That's where you start. Forget about learning to meditate, learning to do this. What simple question, what do you want in life? And that answer should not be happiness, because happiness should never be pursued. Happiness is a byproduct of living a certain kind of lifestyle. Jordan goes out on Saturday to have beer with his friends. The byproduct of that is happiness. Perhaps, I don't know, I'm assuming.
I'm not much of a drinker, but yeah.
But you get the point, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So when you can define a lifestyle where the byproduct of that lifestyle results in the feeling of happiness, that's the key, right? So we need to figure out what it is we want in life, and that's the question that needs to be answered, because once you can answer that question, you can start working backwards. What's the path to get there? What are the tools I need? What are the practices that I need to be doing in order to get there? What books do I need to read to get there?
For me, the perspective of Dandapani, being a monk at the monastery for over 10 years, and how he has got an ambition, a goal, a drive to achieve stuff now, really solidifies the idea that we are on the right path. Once you have a goal, an idea, a purpose in your mind that you want to achieve, it becomes so much easier to make decisions. It becomes so much easier to make calls and eliminations in your life, and eliminate things that you don't need and choose up things that you do need. It becomes right. But one worry that I always had is that it wasn't aligning spiritually with me. The idea of ambition might not work with the idea of happiness. Although I felt amazingly happy, it's just something that always I questioned. And hearing someone like Dandapani go over himself and how he has ambition and that it is okay, makes me feel so much better. The links are down below for his courses on focus and practices and how to implement them. It's all down below. The websites are down below. But also there is a link down below for Mulliganbrothers.com where you can buy the t-shirts that do help support this company, the projects that we do, the mini documentaries that we do. All revenue from t-shirt sales goes straight back into projects that help inspire change. So thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you to everyone who's bought a t-shirt, who watches these videos, who's subscribed, who goes to show people like Dandapani love, who follows us on Instagram at Jordan Mulligan Brother. But thank you so much to you guys. Without you and our team that's around us right now, this isn't possible. And it is having an impact, and I can't thank you enough.